I think this right here is decent news when it comes to Hedera. And what is that? It was announced that on December 2nd, according to a post by BitGet on X, that HBAR is now available on, again, BitGet. Now, some people may think this is kind of caca, but here's the thing. It's pretty good in my opinion because BitGet is actually currently number 6 in the world in terms of top cryptocurrency exchanges, at least according to CoinMarketCap, their ranking, right? So I think this right here is pretty good. When you take a look at it, right, exchange listings, they're super necessary. Hashtag Jorge Masvidal when it comes to cryptocurrencies. And, despite a project having good fundamentals, let's say like the use case is very strong, if let's say the exposure is bad, then it's going to do bad, in my opinion, during a fully fledged bull run, which is why I think this right here is pretty decent news. Now, there's something that people may kind of cringe at. And let me explain why when it comes to this, because they don't think it's really bullish, but I think it doesn't really matter nonetheless. Let me show you what I'm talking about again, because on this article, BitGet stated how they were thrilled to announce that HBAR would be listed in the innovation and layer 1 zone. Now, some people may not like this because, the BitGet innovation zone, to put a summary on it, is basically designed for trading of new token offerings. It quite essentially provides more of a protection to users who may not be that experienced in a sense. So some people think this is kind of not that good for whatever reason. Now, here's the thing. This is kind of like, an iPhone 16 Pro, and then there's the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Some people think about this as kind of being like a lower tier, so to speak. Like, why is it in the innovation zone or whatever? But in my opinion, what? If BitGet, likes HBAR in a sense enough to do this, who cares? Good news is good news at the end of the day. At least that's the way I take a look at it. And again, BitGet having a post on X announcing that HBAR is now available on there, why is that bad? In my opinion, if it's listed, why not? I think that's pretty good. It's like, for instance, right? Some people like to say that, oh yeah, this news is not big enough, all this type of stuff. Well, who cares? In my opinion, any good news is pretty much good in my opinion. Now, when it comes to Hedera, I think it's about time it gained a lot of recognition because when you take a look at Hedera hash graph, right? A directed acyclic graph. This right here is something, in my opinion, that is so special, especially when compared to pretty much all of its competitors. Because if you actually take a look at it, many projects out there, yeah, sure, they're layer 1 blockchains, but they're not as dynamic as a directed acyclic graph, which potentially has better data storage, improves scalability, and is very fast, and also on top of that has amazing energy consumption. Now, some people out there also, they like to say that, oh yeah, man, when it comes to HBAR, they're not pairing up with random celebrities, all this type of stuff. Their advertising isn't good enough. Well, I disagree with that because if you actually take a look at it, their advertising, even though it's not as flashy, they still have it in a sense. Like, for instance, you take a look at Hedera, sometimes when you watch Karate Combat, you'll see Hedera on the mat, at least the times I've watched it. And Karate Combat, it's up and coming. People like UFC, they like, BKFC, PFL, whatever, right? There's a lot of leagues in terms of combat nowadays. But when you take a look at, Karate Combat, it's up and coming. And I like the future, or should I say, I like the mindset of what Hedera thinks, the future could be, because they understand that, hey, this is going to be massive. So why not be a part of it in a sense? This is the genius that they have. Now, it's not like they're only focused on this type of stuff, though. They're also focused on enterprise adoption as well. They're also focused on having a good use case. But I think, seeing stuff like this, like BitGet, it actually showcases that the team is not only hyper-focused on enterprises, which in a sense could be viewed as detrimental, because if they're only focused on that, they're not really focused on the retail side of things, it's not really going to gain a lot of attention. So that's why I do really like the moves that they're making. Now, here's the thing as well. It's not like this BitGet listing is really going to skyrocket HBAR in a massive way, but I think that this is a step in the right direction, because as more and more major exchanges, start listing HBAR, I think this right here could be massive. And now, HBAR isn't necessarily, lacking in terms of exposure, but having a little bit more, why not, right? HBAR is listed already in a bunch of major exchanges, but having more, I think the more the merrier. And during a fully fledged bull run, this again matters. Take a look at why was Shiba Inu and Dogecoin so popular. It's because they were literally listed pretty much everywhere. People, or in my opinion, I should say in my case, how can I believe in something that I don't know exists? For instance, how can I describe a color I've never seen before? It's pretty much impossible. So that's why the way I take a look at it is that when it comes to HBAR, this is amazing for them, at least in the long term and also in the short term. Like, I would assume in the next 6 months to years is going to be so amazing for them because, as more and more people, believe in cryptocurrencies, they're going to have their own preferences, what exchange they want to use, or let's say like what's available in their country of origin or where they live. So that right there is a lot better, right? Because if, let's say, someone's using BitGet, they see something like HBAR, they're like, whoa, this could be something hypothetically amazing here. So why not? Now, some people keep telling me that, oh yeah, not too long ago, right? They said $3 was a little bit too bullish. They said, this is caca, all this type of stuff. But as of right now, you fast forward, now people are thinking that $3 is a little bit bearish. Now they're saying, okay, $5, $10. So I think that, if anything, showcases how when it comes to HBAR, especially during a fully fledged bull run, as it goes to the price of 50 cents, $1, man, what follows soon after, it could be, $2, $3, and it could very well be like, boom, like, Thanos style. Well, you've seen this time and time again. Take a look at Bitcoin as of late. Everyone was saying not too long ago, oh, it's done, all this type of stuff. Then suddenly 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, right? 70, 80, the rest. So when you take a look at it, it's very easy to change the sentiment. It was very difficult for ADA to go from the price of around 3 cents to $1, but $2 afterwards, and even beyond, it felt like a breeze. So that's why when it comes to HBAR, I've seen this happen time and time again with many projects out there that have a good exposure, amazing community, and also fundamentally amazing. They've gone on to do very well. And HBAR, I don't see why it would be any different. When it comes to Hedera Hashgraph, again, it's so different when compared to the rest of the competition, because while many of them are using like traditional blockchain technology, Hedera's like, nah, we're something different here. We have a governing council that includes Google, Boeing, Mondelez, LG, Dell Technologies. We got to be different. You know what I mean? So this is what I really like about them. They're so unique. And I think this right here does give it a unique selling point that is just very fascinating when it comes to the crypto space overall. Because if you think about it, many projects out there, they're pretty much competing with one another. They're saying, yeah, we're the best, or should I say we're the next best layer 1 blockchain, we're the next best DeFi project, NFT project. But when it comes to Hedera, they don't really need to do that because they're quite essentially on a league of its own. It's like, imagine, right? Let's say we put an analogy. Let's say like Hedera is the only electric car and every other car is out there is like a combustible engine. Could you imagine like the unique selling point it has? It could very well be like a bad electric car, but that just really sets it apart. So that's why I really like it. It's so different and it's very interesting in my opinion. And again, HBAR at the price of $3, people kept telling me not too long ago it was insane. But if you think about it, market cap of around $115 billion considering current circulating supply. It's not even that far off of what BNB reached at its peak back in 2021. BNB also, keep in mind, that year reached over $100 billion in market cap. BNB is not this dynamic in my opinion. The BNB Smart Chain ecosystem just last year experienced slightly over 2% of the entire crypto hacks, again, that happened that year. That's a no bueno. Bitcoin still has a ways to go, in my opinion, as it reaches 150,000, 200,000, and maybe even well beyond that. We don't know. Only time will tell. I think HBAR, man, $3, I don't see why not. If BNB can reach at least $100 billion in market cap, why can't HBAR at least do the same, if not a lot better? In this case, $115 billion, especially right now with over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research, more than ever before in history. I just don't see why not. But it's just a waiting game, and I'm willing to wait because I think around 6 months to a year from right now, things could be very different. And I'm staying very patient because I really do believe in the future of Hedera. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.